Okay, let's go.
Hello there, Chick Chatters. We're back with Teen Mom episode 7. We had a little bit of a hiccup with episode 5. It wasn't labeled very well, so when I went to go delete episode 4 after I was done with it, I accidentally deleted episode 5. So it's kind of a mess, but if you Chick Chatters really want episode 5, we will re-record for you guys, but somebody's got to comment that, otherwise we're not going to do it.
Yeah, at least one single soul.
Yeah, one person has to comment it or we're not going to do it. We are going to skip episode 5 for the moment. Yeah. So that's why you went from 4 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
So just let you know.
But this is 7.
This is 7, yeah. We are on episode 7.
Kayla and Dude were still in their couples therapy, so it kind of started where that ended. But they really didn't do much more. They kind of got up and walked away. And then we got a word of the day. So we're finally back on the word of the day.
Finally.
And it's Rico Hele. Is actually how Tyler pronounced it. But it smells so good.
Tyler's giving with these words of the day. I was sad last episode when it wasn't there. I'm glad we have him back. We see Jade, but Jade looks like Marilyn Monroe for some reason. She looks like a totally different person, and she sounds like a totally different person in this confessional. It was throwing me, because then they'd also see her later in the confessional where it looks like she's wearing the same thing, but she obviously had the rest of her day, so she looks a little different and not as put together. It was throwing me because they kept going back between this weird version, Ballroom Jade, Marilyn Monroe Jade, and like Jade I Know Jade.
Yeah.
And the other Jade literally sounded different as well. It was insane.
Yeah, Ballroom Jade is elegant and classy, and well, as classy as Ballroom Jade can get. And then Basic Jade is big gulp.
Yeah, like she's mother. Christy's daughter.
Yeah, she's raspy.
Raspy. She talks a little bit more to the point than Ballroom Jade. Ballroom Jade kind of sprinkles it on. And
Ballroom Jade is real diplomatic.
So Ballroom Jade was talking to us early on in the episode, honestly, about just being sick. And I'm like, Ballroom Jade, you're always sick.
He is. I'm not surprised too, because she's obviously has a lot going on, as we've went over, so we don't need to keep going. But I do feel for her. Her wedding is coming up, and I mean, she's got to be used to it by now, just being sick. It seems like she knows how to deal with it. She just lays low, but
regular Jade in real life does invite Brianna into the trip. She calls her up. There's a theme this season of there's something you can get out of this. Yeah. So everybody's invited under the premise of there's something that y'all can get out of this. Well,
something that I think the universe will be teaching.
I can get something out of any vacation. You get something out of anything you do. I don't understand this whole getting something out of it.
Well, that's probably the point. Like, it's worth coming to this beautiful tropical place to get paid. I don't know why you have to talk someone into that.
Yeah, and I hate how they're setting this up like Brianna just sitting around one Sunday, no plans, and then they just invite her. No, this girl had an airline ticket planned. You can't just, it's expensive to live your life booking airline tickets the night before you go somewhere. And then to have your childcare planned out. I don't know, it's just unrealistic to me. It makes more sense for me to know that everybody knew they were coming just at a different time.
They obviously did too, because there's been rotations of the people in the house, like Macy and her husband left, and I feel like there's probably only so much space. They probably brought the singles in towards the end for a reason. Also, because this episode 7, we don't quite see Brianna and all the other mystery people yet. But I think it's starting to get a little stale with the couples anyways. And they're running out of couples to do their one-time therapy session with. So it's just time for the other Teen Mom people to come. I don't think it was just all of a sudden Jade missed her best friend and wanted to have a bachelorette. That's just too convenient.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm here for it. I'm watching it,
I guess.
But then Kate comes in with the awkward questions, asking people who wants to have more babies. I thought we all agreed not to ask people this in public settings. I understand asking your friends that in a one-on-one, but this is a filmed public setting. She's just like, who's gonna have more babies?
Yeah. Pulling a whole Vanessa Lachey out there.
And it's clear that it's an awkward topic for everybody right now, because Jade and Sean have already argued about having more babies. We know that that's not good. And Zach and Cheyenne have been very quiet this whole time about everything, so maybe this is part of what's going on. I know they just got into their little argument. I think that's in the Lost episode.
Zach wants another baby, but Cheyenne doesn't. That's why when Caitlin was asking him, Press and Cheyenne, I'm like, Caitlin, stop it. Don't make this
I
woman
know. And then we got
You know?
this whole awkward baby situation going on with Kayla and her dude. Let's just not talk about babies, Kate.
Yeah, and then Corey and Taylor, they've had all these medical issues with their youngest baby, and they're trying to figure out if they should be married. Everybody in this situation at least has 2 kids, I think. So we need to be asking that question.
No.
And then Mackenzie with her 3 kids, me, right away. And I was looking for Cheyenne's reaction to that because didn't she just tell this girl she got to get it together before she has kids?
And I was looking for her dude's reaction to that, but I just, they just cut right to Sean saying, "Oh, no more kids."
They pressed him on this, and I was like, leave him alone, okay? Sean's doing great. And you know what? I want to say, I give Sean a lot of props because he kept trying to defend Jade this whole episode, and whenever anybody gets loud in front of Jade's room, Sean's got to at least walk outside and stare at it. Like, he
does, and he goes, "Don't do that."
He's doing a great job with her.
He's a protective man.
I've been liking him this season, even though I don't get much of him. When I do get him, it's always something like, Jade's got to rest. She's sick.
I got to take care of Jade. I feel so bad for Jade.
Jade's just trying to get some rest, and everybody's being loud. I got to go out there.
In this next episode, when they start arguing, the way he got out of bed, jumped out of bed, like, I'm going.
And then proceeded to do nothing but just stare.
Make my presence known. Mackenzie and her dude want to host a family dinner situation. So they present to the girls and the guys that their girls are going to go to a fishmonger, which is a fishery, I'm assuming, and that the guys are going to go do the grocery shopping for everything else at a local market. So I thought that this was actually kind of cool because they've been doing all these sort of like cookie cutter activities where everything is really pre-done for them. They just have to show up. So I thought it was cool to see them go out into the DR, into the wilds.
The way Mackenzie talks just throws me off. It's because she's going at all these different pitches at every other word. And I can't tell what's going on.
I feel like she has too much cheerleader in her still or something. Like sometimes she just gets really excited. I don't know. I don't really love Mackenzie, so I can't try to vibe with her that much even when she's on TV. But I picked up on that too. You're right.
She talks like every other word is caps lock.
Yeah. And it's sing-songy sometimes. And yeah, she's a little strange.
And like her eyes will be doing weird. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that girl. But when she's in the confessionals, even it's just really strange. I just it's the way her voice like pitches around, and
it has this really high pitched twanginess to it that is hard to adapt.
I don't know. She was so excited. She's the only girl in that whole little group of girls that likes to hunt and fish and all that. But she was like, "I'm gonna go. We're gonna go get this fish. We're gonna cook today. I finally get to do an activity because Cheyenne's not mad at me no more." This is her episode.
It is. And as soon as her and Cheyenne had that conversation that night, it's like all of a sudden Mackenzie really felt like she could just bring her whole personality out, which I do like to see. I think is way better than the tension and watching nobody talk to each other, even though Mackenzie's not my favorite person. I think it's great to see her opening up more and just more herself. It's fun to watch. This whole little activity she planned was entertaining enough.
She did carry it, honestly, too. She did great this episode. So the boys getting the ingredients, at first I was worried for them because I think the girls were worried too, man, getting them ingredients. But at the same time, y'all are in a different country, so it don't matter who's going to get the ingredients. Y'all are all going to be
you're all the same level of knowledge right now.
So it was funny to see the girls go do that. I didn't realize that Jade's Spanish was catching up so quickly. I thought that everyone said Jade was not great at Spanish, and all of a sudden her and Cheyenne are translators. So it was fun to watch. That was Jade's moment. And then we get them actually starting to cut up the fish, which nobody will do but Mackenzie. And Caitlin's like, well, I guess I got to do it because I'll go and regret it if I don't. Because Mackenzie decided to come out and give some speech like, if you guys don't do this, then you're going to regret it. And I was like, bitch, says who? I would never sit there and be like, if I don't gut that fish, I'm going to regret it the rest of my life. No.
Do you know, I think Caitlin actually pulled that idea from the last Teen Mom reunion when she jumped off that bridge And everyone was like, when her mom got mad at her, but everyone told her then, if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. It's so fun. And she did it. And she was like, yes, I loved it. So I think that's how she's trying to live her life now. Like, do the things that scare you, which I can respect. But this is gutting a fish, Kate. It's not that serious. Like, you can let it go. And her nails are like this long, and she's trying to touch that fish. And I'm like, just fish guts under her nails for days. I know it.
It was gross. I wouldn't have did it. I would have been just like
No.
Cheyenne, the rest of them, just sit off to the side. And then there's some weird editing. I don't even know how this happens, but Mackenzie just hops in a boat, a canoe with this man. He hops in right after her, and he just takes off with her. Like, it's like we watched this girl just get kidnapped. She's just poof, she's gone.
She very well could have. I mean, MTV would have just had to swim in after her. What would they have done? Like, she didn't know the language of this man. She asked if they were going to sing a song together. And she's like, no.
Is there any music in here?
Like, girl, no. And I do think that they must have dramatized it or laid it up just a little bit because obviously he turned around and came back pretty quickly. But I did think that that was so hilarious. I was fully entertained watching him fucking just take her away. She's like, everybody's concerned. Somebody's like, what was it? Kate's like, she don't speak a lick of Spanish.
Mackenzie in that boat at first, they're showing her saying, you just gotta take life by the horns, basically. She's just adventurous and people don't understand her because she's just so adventurous. She just does it and whatever. And then the next second, she's like, I don't even know how to say turn around in Spanish.
I know.
Somebody must have told her like they were gonna go fishing in there because why else did she jump in there? It was so weirdly edited in. I feel like something happened in between time where they told her she was going fishing, but maybe production was involved and they were like, just hop in there, Mackenzie. And then they were told this guy in Spanish, like, necesito.
That's a good point.
Take this girl for a spin.
Maybe she wanted her picture taken in there or something, and then he was just like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
I thought she was going fishing or something, but she didn't have a rod or anything. She was just ready to go. She was in the front of that boat with a row.
Yeah, she was willing to get in there. So I wonder what lured her in there.
That's honestly like highlight of the whole episode for me, though. To be honest, that's the best thing that happened in the episode.
I totally agree. So the guys secure the bag. They get, according to Tyler, 1 potato, 1 garlic, 1 carrot. He's like, as long as we get 1 of everything, we're gonna be good. For like 12 people, you're gonna get 1 garlic and 1 potato.
You don't know.
They better be bringing back a lot of fish. Oh yeah, and it sounds like, I don't know if they found one eventually, but somebody asked Jade if they brought a cooler for the fish, and Jade was like, I don't know. And Cheyenne, she goes, well, can you look around? And Jade says,
we're one pull, man.
That's where her mom is in her. That's where Big Gulp Chrissy comes in.
Oh, 100%. That was definitely a big.
That was not ballroom Jade.
It's like, where you want me to look? I felt Jade. I would have been like, where you want me to look? Like, look where?
Maybe in their little their transportation. Their little bus.
The only thing I could think of be as production. Hey, you guys got a cooler for this shit? Unless you saw a bitch walk with a cooler, like, no, nobody probably has a cooler.
No, we didn't think of that one. Which makes me worried for their dinner later. They're gonna have 1 potato and some like bacteria infested fish.
I was worried for their dinner to begin with, but it seems like they got like full staff there anyway. So if this dinner don't work out, I'm sure they can get. Somebody said it was like a hotel when someone got there. So yeah, I think that was next episode. But they have the anemones, I guess. So they'll be fine. In fact, we see later that they are. So back from the market, Cheyenne and Zach have their little therapy session over the fight. That they acted like that fight was so bad, but they made up after the fight anyways and talked it out pretty well, I thought. So I get
the fight in the therapy session. They talked about Zach wanting another baby.
The thing with Zach and another baby for Cheyenne is job related and whatever. And I felt Cheyenne's reasons were very valid.
Just because you can get away with being an alleged professional scammer from people with every other relationship, and you can support your woman from being an alleged professional scammer in every other relationship. Cheyenne comes from money. Her family comes from money. Cheyenne has her own bag on paper, and it's real paper that she worked for, and it's not coming from being an alleged scammer. So he's in a different position than he's been in all his other relationships. And instead of doing something else he continues to just like floof
Sit up
around.
at night and think until whatever in the morning and Cheyenne has to get up with the kids. I was like, what? What
I
do you mean,
know.
dude?
It's
This girl's
crazy
the only
to
one
me.
bringing in money and you're not even helping that much with the kids? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, it sounds like he's bringing in money, but he's not bringing in money on paper in a way that he can secure a home or a loan or a whatever. So everything's in Cheyenne's name, and of course that probably does make him feel bad that he has nothing in his name that he can show for himself. I think that would make any person feel bad. Instead of just like trying something. I mean, this man is obviously a go-getter. He has good sales. He has
Yeah.
probably lots of good skills. So I don't know why he doesn't just try something. Even if he fails at it, that's fine. You have a family and a wife that's going to support you, but instead he just sits up at night, it sounds like, and eats himself up and
I could see
just
him like selling cars. I don't know why he doesn't just become a car salesman or something.
he could sell a yacht. I mean, Zach is a sly. He's good. He's smooth talker. I feel like he could sell lots of expensive things to lots of rich people. He could be a realtor. He could whatever.
I think he just, I don't know. I could see him doing that stuff. So, idea for you, Zach. Yeah, they
Go
have their
sell some shit.
they have their therapy session. I thought it was funny how they made a point to be like, we really wanted to have this therapist because they had such a good session with Corey and Taylor. And I'm like, girl, we know you don't want to fuck with Dr. Mike right now. Like, I don't blame you for not wanting Dr. Mike right now. Okay.
So then we get to the cooking situation, which Corey is not impressed. Ty went to fillet up the rest of the fish. I thought that they already filleted at the fishmongerer, but I guess not. But Corey was not impressed. They went back in time to when Corey ate a water rat when he was in the Dominican Republic, and that thing was disgusting. And I'm telling you, they ate that thing. Ugh, I can't believe it.
They threw it up too.
Hey, yeah. It can't be that bad. I know that this fish has not been refrigerated. I know that it probably looks hacked up, but it cannot be a rat level.
Corey says he's not taking a chance because he thinks it could be like the water rat. Sean didn't take a chance either. He went and ordered himself a taco.
He ordered shrimp tacos on the phone, and you could see Kate in the background side-eyeing him. I was like, but the fish got mixed reviews. It seemed like Kate and Ty were the only ones that thought that it was mildly okay. Oh, and Mackenzie. So, like, the people who cooked it were trying to
like it. Yeah, I mean,
keep their pride intact.
You know what? It's because they had a whole day. Let them have it. I was saying the whole time, like, I don't know how to fucking cook a fish. I don't know why I'm doing this. I feel like nobody in that group can really like cook. Like, you know how in Jersey Shore you have a couple in the group that can actually cook, like Mike and stuff. Like, he can really cook because he's really Italian. So like, there's got to be at least a couple people in that group that can cook. And I just don't know if there's really people in that group that can cook that I know for cooking skills, like, do you know any
That's
of
a
the
good
moms
point.
for their cooking skills? None.
Probably Ty and Kate are probably the ones who would cook at home the most.
Yeah.
So
remember, Leah's kids were cooking for themselves.
they were eating Lunchables out of the fridge, getting them all themselves at like 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah, sorry, Leah. We don't see you yet.
Was I, but
I was too, but I mean, I think they were doing it more or less for survival. I was doing it for a snack. But maybe not. That's just a legend.
So true.
Anyways,
we get a final scene. Kayla's mom calls and she acts as if there is this big emergency. And they leave us on a quick commercial break after hearing that there's an emergency and come back. We learn that dude, what's his name? Ryan is cheating, apparently, or that's what Kayla's mom says. So Kayla's all dramatic and takes her mic off and brings Jade in the bathroom, and they're talking.
I was like, no, we don't do that, girl. Yeah. We don't do that. We don't take our mics off. You can go to the bathroom, but you leave the mic on.
Right. But luckily, Ryan can't stand knowing that something's going on, that he don't know what's going on. So he goes in there with his mic. So we pretty much heard the gist of the conversation about some teen mom T-Page, and Kayla's kind of filling in the gaps in the confessional. So apparently, dude took some girl on a date, or that's what he told Kayla before. But the girl online is saying that they've been dating for all these months and he's cheating. So Kayla doesn't know what to believe for some reason.
That man cheated on you, girl. That man cheated on you. If the first reaction he had when you went off to took your mic off and went to the bathroom was, "Uh-oh, something's going down. It's gotta maybe involve me." He did something to you, and he thinks you found out. Like,
yeah, if you didn't have anything to hide, you would let that girl have her emotions
you wouldn't
and be
even
like,
know.
okay, you're being silly. We'll talk about it, you know? But no, he
Or it
had to
could
go
be
defend himself right away and blame it on the other girl and be like, oh, she just wants to be famous. Famous? This
how
is a
famous
Teen
do you
Mom
people
page.
think you are? He
Yeah,
just met you. I don't even know
yeah.
your name. Famous.
Teen Mom has like, what do they have these days? Like 300,000 weekly viewers. They have
No,
nothing.
they have like 100,000.
Yeah.
Like it's a passion project for them at this point. It's not getting you guys famous.
It's a passion project for us.
Yeah, our views are, but we've lost a subscriber.
Teen Mom has not been good for us, but we appreciate the people who are watching. But it's like it is for anyone who's left watching or talking about it or filming it, participating in it. It's just a passion project at this point. It's just hard to say goodbye, okay?
Yeah, we have a problem.
It seemed like they kind of hyped this all up like it was a big drama. I almost feel like Kayla's mom called because the producers called Kayla's mom. Like, they needed something to spice up the night or something like that. Like, it just felt so forced to me. So I don't know. The whole thing kind of blew up for a second and then it sort of smooths over. And then as soon as it smooths over, everybody's looking over at Kayla like, why is she okay? What is going on? So this couple is toxic. I don't know. They need to. I haven't looked online to see if they've had this baby.
I haven't either. I've been leaving it mystery for the sake of the season.
Yeah, I don't
For
know
me
if I
going
want
to the season. But I mean, I'm sure some of you chick chatters might know who watch the Teen Mom videos. I'm sure you guys probably know if they have a baby or not. I mean, not saying that she shouldn't keep the baby. I'm just saying that like, it's strange to make such a big deal about keeping this baby on TV. So then one day this baby's gonna see how like this huge mess. Why?
I know. Well, and
Why
the
are
thing that
we?
I don't get when Cheyenne and Jade sit down to talk to Ryan about what went on, I don't understand what Ryan's like insistent that he has to marry his first baby mama. I understand that that is the ideal situation, that most people want to be married to the person that they have children with, but
Right.
just because she's pregnant does not mean that you have to now put the weight on yourself of deciding not only do I have a baby with this person, but if I have a baby with this person, I'm insisting I must marry them. Does Kayla even want to get married to him? This is so weird. Why are we adding this extra commitment on to something that's already not working out?
And if that's your insistence, then maybe instead of raw dogging this girl for 10 years, you just marry her at some point or marry somebody and then get them pregnant. You already got this girl pregnant. Deed's already done, dude. You're in a different situation now. You're probably not gonna marry her out the gate. Don't even think about that right now. You're on step baby right now because there's a baby in her. You're already past all that. You can't go back. You can't go back.
Right. And if I need to be married to the person I have a child with, if you don't feel ready to marry her, then that's your answer. Then you need to tell that woman to make the decision that you want made. Because if you don't want to be married to her and you're insistent that you be married to the first person you have a child with, then there is your fucking answer, sir. I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
I can't keep doing this like a storyline. I feel bad half the time. I'm like, I don't want to be sitting here speculating about the life of this child, and like, I feel like that's just too much for me. You know, like, and they're in Colombia. I think it's like, isn't it illegal where we're at right now in the United States? Like, can't you like not even really do it in most places? It's like harder now. I don't know anything about that shit anymore. But what maybe if they go to Colombia to get this done, that would happen.
You live in, you probably can't get no in Texas, but us here in Michigan, we got Big Gretch fighting for us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know certain areas, it's harder here in the United States in certain areas, wherever they're at. I don't know where they're at. But so are they going to Colombia to maybe get this done? Like, is this part of the storyline? What is this? I don't want to keep going on about
They're not in Colombia to get in them.
They keep talking about the state of this child's life, like they got time or something. They're acting like they got like a year to figure out if they're gonna kid or not. They don't
have time. No, they don't have time. They need to literally go home the next day and get
this. Like, why are you guys on a couple's vacation right now? I'm sorry, but I just do feel like it's a bit irresponsible when you're in this position. It'd be one thing if she knew if she was keeping the baby or not to come and try to mend the relationship, whatever. But y'all are sitting here angling in a in front of us. Just it feels so like icky.
Or if
like,
they were there and they were being really serious about it, really going to like a lot more therapy sessions, and dude wasn't just sitting there drinking every night trying to act like it's no big deal, it would be different. But I don't know. Yeah, they look real bad right
this
now. I
guy's
don't know
acting like
why
it's
they're
a
here.
yeah.
It's
This
really
guy's
like
like
a vibe kill to have this whole storyline going on, and it's not it. But it is bringing the drama for now, I guess.
it is, and this guy's acting like it's a multiple choice question or something. Like he can just change his answer because he doesn't like his answer. Like I want to marry the person that I have a baby with. Well, bitch, you should have thought that through then and got married first before having the baby. Like that is what it is at this point. Like
That's just the weirdest thing. Again, I understand that that's maybe your ideal best case scenario, but you're not here now. So don't put pressure on yourself that now you not only do you have to have a baby
maybe
with this woman, but now you
I
have to
mean,
get
seeing
married.
this woman has had multiple babies. She's fertile. Use protection.
Yeah,
Okay. What? It's not
so
rocket
true.
science. Trying to be so cautious about finding the quote unquote love of your life to have your baby and marry that woman, whatever. Then what are you doing for 10 years going back and forth with this girl? And it
Yeah.
just feels so ridiculous to me. Why are we still not sure what we're doing here? If we're not sure what we're doing here by day 3 of being here, then we
Yeah,
need to
you're
go
not
home
doing it
and
right.
figure it out.
Yes. Yeah, you're
You
distracted.
now you're just going and doing fun stuff on a trip and avoiding the situation. That's how I would feel. I feel like they're just avoiding it at this point until somebody forces them to sit down and decide. It don't matter. The baby's gonna force them to decide no matter what, because there's gonna come a month where it's just too late anyways. And that's what I think pretty much happened to these people. If that's not how it happened, then they just decide to keep it anyways. Because I do not think that they actually went through with the other option, but I guess she has before. I don't know her story that
She
well.
has before, yeah. And it was after she had her kids. It was actually I'm pretty sure the last time that she was pregnant publicly, at least, she did get one because she knew she couldn't afford to have another kid at the time. They were living in an apartment that they couldn't afford, that wasn't big enough for them as it was with their 2 kids and 2 of them. And she was dating that Luke guy at the time, and he was playing college basketball as far as I'm aware. So he was kind of moving back and forth. So their life really couldn't accommodate another baby at the time. And I thought that it was a smart choice, and I respected her for doing it publicly because that's a hard thing to do, especially when you already have another child. I can't imagine the guilt that she probably carries and all of that. But now to not have learned your lesson and to be in this whole position again, and I feel for her because she talks about how all her pregnancies are like this, but it's like you play in this as well. So
Yeah.
you
No,
have to take some responsibility at some point. And these are people's lives, other kids' lives who did not ask for this. So it's just
yeah.
it's a lot.
She's doing a disservice by giving a man who's giving her basically nothing everything. Like
Mhm.
that's what happens with a lot of young girls. They like getting in these situationships where, oh, it's we go back and forth for 10 years. Well, that ain't healthy, girl. Like
Yeah, well, and Kayla has such a hard time talking, like, I'm sure you've noticed, like, every scene where she's just talking with this guy one-on-one, like, she's just completely shut down. The end of this episode actually ends with a scene between Kayla and Dude, and I can swear to you, production probably made her sit down and ask him point blank, "Did you hook up with her or have you been dating her?" Because she asked him that, but it was like she was so disinterested in having that conversation. It's
yeah.
like, could you this if this is really your real life, which you look like you're pregnant and this is the guy. So like, could you maybe have some energy about this? She's just over here checking her nails like, well, I know you told me one time, but I'm gonna need you to say it again. Did you hook up with her? Lady, look him in the face. See what his eyeballs are doing because he was shifting everywhere, like, looking up, looking away, like, oh no, no, not when we were together. I hooked up with her before, yes, but not when we were together. I'm like, sir,
He
I
did.
probably hooked up with her last week.
That's probably why he was late.
Yep.
And he wants to say that this girl's at it for fame. I mean, like,
I think
okay,
he's in it for
whatever.
fame, whatever
Yeah.
that level of fame might be.
Yeah, because he doesn't seem very interested in her. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't believe that these people have actually been on and off for 10 years. I mean, if they're on and off for
No.
10 years, they're doing that talking thing where maybe they've hooked up once every like 6 months or so. But
I think they've been
not
each other's
healthy.
side piece for 10 years. I don't think they've been seriously dating because Kayla has had babies with 2 other people and has been on shows for at least 4 or 5 years with 2 other men, and I get that we only see, like, this much of their lives, but every time I see this much of this girl's life, she's never been with this guy unless she's cheating on someone with
Well,
him.
and the thing is I don't believe that 10 years either because it's only been, like, 11 or 12 years since Teen Mom premiered and these people were on Young and Pregnant. Like, it's not been 10 years
Right.
for you, girl. It's probably been, like, 5, okay?
Well, I think
5.
they were in high school when they met, so they probably were, like, high school sweetheart kind of thing. So, I mean, it could be pushing 10 years for her. She's probably, like, 26, 7.
I don't know. And pregnant,
They
but
have not been anywhere near in a committed relationship for the last 10 years. I don't even think they've had a single commitment in the last 10 years other than in high school. I think they just, like you said, they talk, they hook up once in a while. I think they're each other's side pieces because all they do is cheat on their serious relationships with each other. And then they're like, oh, let's try this. And now they're fucking pregnant. They don't even like each other.
I kind of wish they would just go home and figure out what they're doing. I think it's, like, almost neglectful at this point to
Yeah,
not
it's
be
time to
doing
go home.
anything about. It'd be one thing if she knew she was keeping the baby and that and she wanted to stay here
Right.
and work on the relationship or work on communication or whatever. It's a couples therapy workshop. What she needs is a different kind of therapy
Yeah.
session. She needs
Yeah.
something that'll help her figure out what she's about to do moving forward. This is for couples that they're meant to be together. They're going to stay together and they just might be having some hiccups along the road. And we're going to do some workshops to help them better some skills.
Right.
It's not like
Right.
an intensive therapy. That's why I'm like laughing at these people like, oh, there's something that Brianna's going to get out of it or Leah. And I'm like, sure, yeah, you can get something out of anything, girl. Why do these people all have to have some in-depth mental break? They're just coming here for the good times and the free alcohol and the check.
And really, that's all I'm here to watch. I'm invested now in this story, I guess. But I'm excited to just see them party. That's what I liked about the season. That it's sort of like a real world house. So speaking of that, we're gonna have some new / old Teen Mom girls coming in. Bree is coming, and she said that she brought somebody, but as of right now, in the end of the episode, it's a mystery. It looks like Ty and Kate are going to do therapy. There's going to be a jet skiing accident. Right now, I'm wondering if it's Cheyenne or Bree because they didn't really show the person.
You know, my guess when I watched the episode was definitely Bree because she's always freaking hurt on these family trips. I swear the
True,
ambulance
and
is
she's
always
always like going balls to the wall too. She doesn't have any chill whatsoever. So yeah, I was thinking that as well.
I will say it was nice to see Dr. Mike get an episode off after all of his chaos.
He needed a break. All right, chick chatters, we'll see you. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, chick chatters, because we have so many people watching. So thank you for watching. A lot of the people watching are not subscribed, so join us.
Bye, Chick Chat.
Bye.